what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneDog.com. We've had a ton of high-profile phone launches in the past couple of weeks, but not to be lost in the shuffle is my full review of the HTC Aria for AT&T. AT&T. Special thanks to the folks at Best Buy Mobile who hooked us up with a couple of these. Got a couple other people doing their reviews, and then we're going to give them away, 2 of them to give away in the One Pod Bandit, so stay tuned for that. Best Buy Mobile, walk out working, you buy a phone there. If you want, they'll spend the time to get you all set up, get your, in this case, get your Google profile set up, your contacts synced, your Facebook happening, all that stuff before you leave. So thanks to them. The device itself, there's a lot about this that I really like. A couple negatives. One is AT&T's network performance, still kind of spotty, especially depending on where you are. 2 is that AT&T has kind of blocked Android, not to the extent they did on the back flip, but they're not allowing you to sideload apps. Basically, if an app doesn't come from the Android market, it's not going to run on this phone. Which, a lot of consumers won't care about, but people who are into Android will be frustrated by that for sure. That being said, the phone itself, in general, I think it's really cool. I really like that it's a viable option in this trend of mega phones with the Evo and now the Droid X, 4-inch plus screens, even the Droid Incredible at 3.7. You've got this one, it's smaller, 3.2 inches, provides for a very small design, easily pocketable, and it's interesting because women and people who work in tech, like other tech bloggers I know, whether man or women, really dug the size of this phone. Men who don't work in tech, who I showed it to, were kind of like, nah, yeah, I guess it's cool that it's small, but where's the Evo, man? Where's the Droid X? Have you seen that one? So, take that for what you will, but the small size makes it very pocketable. Put it in a purse, put it in a tight jeans pocket. If you're me, put it in a loose jeans pocket. But you still have, full web browser, full Android, notifications. You've got your headphone jack on top so you can listen to music. A lot going for this phone that's really nice. A couple drawbacks related to the size, but in general, I think it's a, it's a good device, but $130 on contract through AT&T, that's a tough sell because you've got, the new iPhone at $199, the iPhone 3GS at $99 now on AT&T, or if you really want an Android phone, there are perhaps sexier options, or at least options that aren't kind of hamstrung by AT&T on the other carriers right now. Lots of Android phones, they're keeping me busy, believe me. Anyway, we'll take a closer look, but in general, I'm digging the Aria, and, that Ferrari yellow back panel on the inside, definitely pretty cool too. Let's check it out. All right, so I've had the Aria for a couple weeks now. Used it exclusively as my personal device for several days, and then over the last week or so, I've been kind of coming back to it as I've been trying out. Like I said, these other phones, you've got the iPhone 4, you've got the Droid X, you've got the Galaxy S, which I have the unlocked version, but they just announced the versions for the U.S. market. All kinds of phones. So it's been interesting to kind of come back to the Aria. And basically, I won't go in depth in terms of the software and features because either, you saw the unboxing video. If you saw that, you got a taste of what the Aria can do. And if you've seen the Incredible or the Evo or the unlocked HTC devices, it's basically the same HTC Sense riding on top of Android 2.1. Mentioned the issue with AT&T blocking the the non-Android market apps, which is kind of a drag. But otherwise, the phone's been really a pleasure to use. Like I said, I love the small size. I love the design. The the thing with the screws on the back, the kind of industrial look, the soft touch black plastic, and then the racing Ferrari yellow on the inside. This is a repeat from the unboxing video, I know, but I just think it looks really cool. And then your micro SD card slot. Camera does not have a flash, and it shoots VGA video only. It's fine. It's not the best camera in the world for sure. If you're looking for high quality camera performance, you might want to check out on AT&T. You might want to check out the iPhone 4. If you want an Android phone, I would take a look at the Evo or the Droid Incredible. Slightly better cameras than this one, but for a camera phone, it's fine. It's generally speaking, you're gonna be able to grab your pictures and your videos and stuff. In general, performance has been pretty good. It's got Wi-Fi, as you can see, and then 3G on AT&T's network. Call quality has been it's been decent on AT&T. I mean, relative to AT&T, it's been pretty good. I'm in an area, San Francisco Bay Area, that's widely known for AT&T performance issues, and it's definitely had a few of them. Not like an iPhone 3G or 3GS, but it's not like a Droid Incredible on Verizon either. So, kind of take that for what it is. The screen's been very responsive. Really enjoyed using the screen to do different things. It'll load up the AT&T My Yahoo page, but let's kill that and we'll go to, we always go to PhoneDog. Let's go to DroidDog, John Walton's Android-focused site, part of the PhoneDog network here. If you want to get hardcore into Android, this is where you go. And I'm connected to Wi-Fi right now. The accelerometer is responsive, kicks right in. For an HVGA display, the nice thing is that the lower powered processor, this is a Snapdragon processor, but the processor on here is fine for moving that many pixels around. Battery life has been a little bit of an issue for sure. It's run down noticeably quick, and I've had a couple times where I'm not quite to the end of the day, and if I've been using it heavily, I need to recharge. So that's something with the recent Android phones, the recent HTC phones has been something of an issue, and I've actually noticed it a little bit more on Aria than on the incredible the Evo. The more I started to hammer on it, the more I used it, but that's with kind of the Wi-Fi, the mobile hotspot feature, and watching mobile TV on it. Hopefully, HTC will be able to release an update that helps with some of the battery life issues, but it's not a deal breaker with this device. But if you're a super heavy user of all the features, you're going to want to bear in mind that battery life, something that does give me a little bit of concern on this phone. We'll go over to BeBerryDog there. You've got the optical D-pad, which I think is a nice little touch, especially on a device this small. Basically, I can kind of go over what I went over before, like I said in the unboxing video and the other recent HTC Android phone videos. But, it does what it does. HTC Sense and the WebKit browser, it's got the multi-touch support. It's very responsive. I think the thing on this phone comes down to the physical size, and one of the areas where that's potentially an issue is with typing. In portrait mode, I like to two-thumb type. Two-thumb typing on a standard screen size phone in portrait mode is, it's a little bit janky at best. It's not really possible on this phone. Two-thumb typing, just, with my thumbs especially, just too big. One-thumb typing, I kind of found that I have to take my time a little bit more on this phone than on 3.5 or larger inch screen, 3.5 inch or larger display. Trying to go quickly on this phone, I definitely made more errors than I'm used to. I think it's totally doable. You just kind of have to be a little more careful. The widescreen mode actually works quite well, and again, I can't type quite as fast. If you watch the unboxing video, I was kind of like, oh wow, this is actually pretty good. I think it'll be fine. The more I use the phone, the more I notice definitely I was making, marginally more errors than I'm used to. So just bear that in mind. I think what's nice about this phone, or, somebody who might really like this phone, is somebody who actually likes the old T9 style typing, but wants a full-on smartphone or a full-on Android phone. And so you can switch your input methods. Go to Settings, Keyboard, Touch Input, Keyboard Types, and we'll go to Phone Keypad. We'll go back to the internet here. Let's do it from here. So now you've got the T9 style. And so for, there are lots of people who are just got so good at texting on, remember the old phones with keys on those phones, that they prefer this style, or they're very fluent with it. And if that's you, this might be the phone for you, because you get the best of a lot of worlds with the small size, the full features, great screen, and then, if you can do the T9 style, all the better. You get a 2 gigabyte micro SD card. Micro SD cards aren't all that expensive, but again, looking at the price of this phone relative to some of your other choices, that's something else you're going to have to tack on if you want to do, store a lot of media on it, that kind of thing. Widget performance has been good. The apps have run smoothly. I've got capacitive touch buttons on the bottom there, so some people don't like the capacitive touch buttons. So if that's you, bear that in mind. But they work just fine. You've got the HTC Leap, so you get the overview of the different screens. Again, all in all, solid performer, with the exception of the battery life issue that I'm a little bit worried about. But that didn't really detract me from really enjoying my time with this phone. And a nice option, I wrote a couple blog posts a while ago about using smartphones for their GPS apps, like for, I run and I like to use the GPS app when I go running, or if you're into like whatever, hiking or skiing or biking or that kind of thing, and how, that's one case you can make for a small smartphone, as well as, just the carrying it around in day-to-day life or the lower cost or what have you. So, that's something where I think there's a big appeal for this kind of device for sure. So again, I'll say it one more time, as if I hadn't said it enough already. In general, it's a winner. In terms of pricing on the network and other options, that's going to be up to you, but definitely I could see opting for an iPhone on AT&T or an Android phone on a different market to get a little bit more bang for your buck if you're looking for the most performance ever. And the battery life issue is something that hopefully can be corrected with a software update in the near future, but I don't have any specifics on that, so I'm not promising anything. But otherwise, aside from that, it's a thumbs up for me. I definitely enjoy the Aria. I think it's cool to see, with all these giant mega screen phones, it's cool to see the smaller phones.